I will solve this problem today. 2 hours later, you're asleep on the couch, passed out of exhaustion. No, not a good idea. Hello and welcome to Somewhere on the Spectrum. Today, I want to talk about money. God, I hate money. But we need it because this is a post-capitalist crappy world. And money is important, which is why I don't have any. Yay! Okay, we're going to talk about money. We're going to talk about shame. We're going to talk about impulsivity. We're going to talk about dyscalculia. We're going to talk about anxiety and maybe a little bit about budgeting. Don't panic. I can feel it. I can feel you panicking. Take a deep breath. None of this is going to hurt. I promise. So, money. I don't know. Do you hate money? Maybe you like money. There's a lot of neurodiverse people who are really good with money, who are really good with making money, lots of business ideas. Brilliant. I have lots of business ideas. None of them make any money. So I spend a lot of my time doing a lot of things that are free for everybody, and I get no money for it, including this channel. I have a lot of great ideas. A lot of stuff happens. I make a lot of videos for a lot of cases. There is only my Udemy channel that makes any money, and that only makes a very little bit of money, which is why I ask you to like and subscribe when you can, in the hope that we can boost this channel into something that might actually make money for me. But that's not what we're talking about today. Even if you are one of those neurodiverse people who's good with money or who is good at making money, congratulations, great. Please give us some tips in the comments below. You probably haven't always been. And if you are someone who is employed, would like to be employed, has been employed, where's your money? Because I spent mine. Like all of it. So I am autistic and I have ADHD. And the strongest, most disruptive part of my ADHD is my impulsivity. Impulsivity is that motivation to do the thing in the moment with no forethought about it. Impulsivity will lead you to scoff a whole chocolate bar without thinking and then go back and get another one because you want it. Eat a whole carton of ice cream because you won't be able to stop yourself. It will also be the thing that causes you to buy the thing that you want to buy because you saw it and it's right there and you want it and you want it. So you bought it and now you don't have any money. It will also be the thing that will make you buy all of the presents for your pets or possibly children that you think that they possibly could ever want. And now you spent a lot of money and your pet's not playing with any of the toys. I had money at various points in my life, especially when I was in Korea. And I spent all of my money when I was in Korea on dogs and cats a little bit, but mostly dogs. Because of my time blindness, I have no awareness of the future. I mean, I have got an awareness of the future. I know the future exists. I know it's out there, but I am not in the future. And therefore, I am not preparing for my retirement. I am not preparing for buying a house, all these things. And certainly in my 20s, I was in my 20s. Why would I be thinking about retirement when I was in my 20s? Are you mad? That's a long way away. And I have friends who went to Korea and came home and bought a house. It was definitely possible to do that. I missed that boat, unfortunately. I spent all of it on dogs. To consider now how much money I spent is a bit scary, really. Part of the challenge was I followed my dad's advice. If your dad's autistic, be careful with that advice. Bless him. Love him to bits. Not the best on the advice front. Could have paid off my student loan, didn't. So yeah, not great in terms of finance. Now there's a double whammy coming in here because part of the reason for not being great with finance is that as a teenager, I equated money with maths. And I was terrified of maths. So if you are also terrified of maths, please research Dyscalculia. This is not dyslexia, but sort of a little bit similar to dyslexia. It's kind of like dyslexia for numbers. You could have dyslexia and dyscalculia. You could have one or the other. Or you could have neither. Lucky you. I don't have dyslexia. I don't have a problem with reading, writing, all of that kind of thing. Numbers don't make any sense to me whatsoever. Now looking back, I think I would have been better if I could have done stuff on an abacus. Being able to visualize it, I think would have been better. But once it got into the calculators, I was completely lost. I didn't get much in the way of exams on maths, but the problem was really that I associated maths and money, and I developed this real fear of numbers. I had to do statistics at university, and I could sort of master the statistics from that perspective, but still the money was associated with maths. So I was avoiding it like the plague. And so because I was avoiding it like the plague, I never really sat down and understood how much money I had. I never really understood the idea of compound interest for your pension. I never really understood how to put money away. As a little kid, I was very good at saving. There was a demand avoidance thing that came in there too. So what happened was I was saving for a car when I was 16. And then my granddad bought us one. It wasn't a fantastic car, but I think he felt guilty because all my cousins were bought cars for their 17th birthday because they were loaded. And so he brought us one for me and my brother to use. And the problem was I had been saving for ages and then suddenly it was given to me. And, you know, it's not a sensible brain, really. And so it was like, well, what's the point of saving for anything? And that demand avoidance was really problematic for many, many years. And it completely ruined my saving skills, which is annoying. If you have struggled with numbers, always struggled with numbers, have a fear of numbers, then definitely look into dyscalculia. It may be at the root of your problem. If you have it, there are things that can be done, but I think simply knowing that it exists, again, it's similar to knowing that you're autistic. It takes away that thing about it being your fault. For me, what it's done is it's made me more aware so that now I feel like I want to learn, and it's also helped me detach money from numbers. So instead of thinking of numbers and Pythagoras theorem and all of those kind of things, I'm thinking of money as a separate thing by itself. So it's made it much more possible for me to learn about money. And I've taken the responsibility now. I feel like, okay, this is something that I should learn about, that I could learn about, that it's possible to learn about. And I don't have to be a maths whiz to do it. If your dyscalculia is much more serious than mine, it may be less of an option. But for me, adding, taking away, adding, subtraction, that's about the limit. With a calculator, I can manage multiplication and division, but there are probably going to be errors. But I can do the adding and subtraction. So I feel like, okay, basic level, I can handle it. That's one part that might be preventing you from even looking at it in the first place. The second thing is your impulsivity. If you have ADHD, if you have impulsivity, you will know about it because it will be affecting your life. It may be something that you have blurted out how you feel to somebody, or you've blurted out your response to something that somebody said and it was bad and you didn't have any control over whether you said it or not. It may be in your eating habits. It may be in your money spending habits. If you do things quickly and you can't take the time to think about it, you can't pause before you make decisions, you struggle with how much of things you spend or eat, impulsivity is likely part of the cause. It's not that you can make the impulsivity go away, but being aware of it is a massive thing because it gives you back some level of control and decision making about it. And you can start to put strategies in place to say, you know, I have to wait 3 days before I spend money or something like that, which is also not very easy to do. But there becomes options available once you know what you're dealing with. That's the point. Shame and anxiety. If you are shit with money, you probably have a lot of shame and anxiety around money. That means you're less likely to talk about money. You're less likely to deal with the problem. You're more likely to get yourself into a bad situation, and you're less likely to know how to get yourself out of the bad situation, which is all very stressful because money is unfortunately a big part of our lives. If you have shame and anxiety around money, deep breaths. You didn't do anything wrong. It's not your fault. You have a different kind of brain. You've been put into a world that is built around money, and the way our brain works doesn't have anything to do with money. It has everything to do with the gloriousness of the world. How pretty is that butterfly? Nothing to do with money. So we are ill-equipped to deal with this capitalist world. It's not your fault. You didn't do anything wrong. You can fix it. No matter how old you are, you can fix it. You maybe can't fix it and become a millionaire, but really, did you want to be a millionaire anyway? Probably not. but you can get some more agency. You can take some level of control. You can make decisions. You can take charge. Don't try and do it all at once. That's impulsivity, and it's not gonna be helpful. I will solve this problem today. 2 hours later, you're asleep on the couch, passed out of exhaustion. No, not a good idea. If you're gonna fix the problem, it's gonna be a long journey. So you need to figure out how to break it down into steps, and you need to understand that it's gonna take time. And it's not going to be a fast journey, and it's not going to be very easy because you're going to have a lot of blocks in the way because you have now trauma about money. Yes, money trauma is a thing. I am going to put a link in the description to my Patreon page, and I am going to share my Patreon page, the budget that my director gave me when I was working in Bristol. She was a very sweet, lovely lady. She was one of the nicest finance directors I've ever worked with. When she understood my anxiety about money, she spent an afternoon helping me understand how to budget, and she built a budget for me. And I used that budget to make a personal budget. I literally used the same spreadsheet. She put all of the stuff in there. I just changed the names of things. And that's what I'm going to share with you. So if you struggle with money, this is part one. Part one is every month when you get your statement from the bank, you need to sit down and work through that statement. You need to put all of your spending into the categories, and you need to total up how much you've spent in each of those categories. This is not going to stop you from spending. It's not telling you anything about how much you're going to spend next month. All it's doing is helping you see how you are spending your money and how much of it you're spending on what. That's your first task. That is quite scary in and of itself. It takes about half an hour to do that, to do your statement. If we add on putting it onto your computer, 45-minute tops. So every month, like first, second, or third day of the month, sit down, take your statement from the last month. If you have a situation where you have credit cards and everything, you need to take all of your statements, not just one, everything that you're spending, and tot up where it's spending, what you're spending on. So you're going through, like if you have a credit card bill, you need to go through each thing on your credit card bill, and you need to look at, was it the supermarket? Was it shoes? What was it that you were spending? Now, for me, it's a step too far to keep all of the receipts. That is chaos. It is not going to work. So I really rely on what they put on there. If you find something that you don't recognize, Google it. Most of the time, you'll be able to figure out what it is. So what then you're doing is you're totting together everything. So I have like eating out. So when I went to a cafe, eating in, so all of the groceries that I bought, things that you spent on clothes, haircuts, all this kind of thing is going in there. And then also your income is going in there. So what the sheet is doing, it is telling you how much you made, how much you spent, what the difference is. That goes all the way to the end. So over the course of a year, you can see how much you made and how much you spent, and you can track as you go how much you're spending throughout the year. That's your first step. And honestly, you could just do that for a year, and that will be quite stressful enough. I now have probably 10 years worth of those things. Now, I have never succeeded in making a budget that I can follow for the month and not spend the money for the month because of my demand avoidance. So I can track what I have spent, and in the process of tracking what I have spent, I'm able to realize how much money I have, get better at comprehending how much money I have and how much money things cost, so that I can limit where I spend my money, so that I can say, oh, I'm not going to buy that thing from Amazon, or I'm not going to go to the cafe because that's going to cost too much money. So whereas before I would just buy all of the things, now I'm much better at limiting how I spend my money because I'm aware of where the expenditure is and how much I've got and how far that goes. So that's like the basic level. If you are smart enough and ready to go, This sheet will also give you the possibility for budgeting moving forward so that you can decide, I'm going to spend this much money on groceries, blah, 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 and you can try and stay on track. And there are now a lot of apps that can help you stay on track if you want to do that. Then the next step is to figure out where you're going to put your money. So then this is thinking about the future. That's much, much harder. Thinking about the future and long-term future when you are young enough to not need it is really challenging. One of the things you can do is try and figure out how much money you need to maintain your lifestyle. Or if you want a different lifestyle in the future, maybe you want a house or car or something, how much is that going to cost? And then you can work out how much money do you need to get you to that point. That sort of calculation is going to give you an idea of, do I need to get a promotion? And it will give you a bit more motivation to try and get a promotion because you know the goal that you have in mind. Do you need to start investing? If you're going to retire soon, probably investing is a good idea so that you have this income coming in. Investing is a whole other kettle of fish. If you are interested in investing, I would suggest following her first 100,000 on Instagram. She's very good. There's also a couple in the UK who do education about investment. They're also excellent. I'll put them in the description. I will also suggest that you follow Female Invest if you are a woman. Men can also do Female Invest, but it is geared towards a feminine audience. They have 2 books. They have an application. They have a whole ton of courses, and they have regular webinars. They're all very, very lovely, sweet women. They're all extremely smart and knowledgeable about money. And the whole point of Female Invest is to teach you how to invest and how to look after your money. And the application has all kinds of courses. I was not made to make this advertisement. The application has all kinds of courses about budgeting and managing your finances and tracking your income and debt management and all that kind of stuff. So if you are in a difficult financial situation, I would say that it is a good expenditure of money. The challenge is actually doing the courses. I got it on a deal with the book last year, and I struggle to do things. I really, really struggle to do the courses. Courses are difficult for me anyway, so if you're good at sitting down and doing courses, you might be totally fine. There's a huge amount of information on there. You can probably learn it relatively fast if you like watching videos or listening while you're doing stuff. They will teach you a lot. It's very, very valuable information, and it is directly geared to women, which is perfect. It doesn't matter what age you are. They have stuff for all different ages. It depends on your situation as to what's going to be the most useful thing. It's been very useful for me. I'm trying to decide if I'm going to pay the extra money for another year. Still deciding. I'll put the links to all of those things in the description. Also, I'll put the link to the Patreon page. It will be free for you to download, by the way. I'm not expecting you to pay any money. As previously stated, we are not good with money. I'm not expecting you to pay any money for the budget. I just want you to use it. That's it. That's all I want. Just start tracking. This is a big thing. This is still a big thing for me. It's really, really difficult to deal with money. And asking for money and being paid are still massive hurdles for me that don't appear to be going anywhere anytime soon. But I'm starting to learn about it now, and I feel more confident and just better that it's not this thing I'm ignoring anymore, because it was. For a really long time, it was this thing that I was just ignoring and running away from. And now it's not. I'm not in control, but I am more aware, and I feel a lot better because I'm not avoiding it. It's all there for you if you should so desire. The links are in the description. Please like and subscribe if you found this useful. Please drop your comments below if you have any suggestions. If you are following any good influences about money, let us know your own money stories. Feel free to share them. You're all very, very welcome. This is a difficult and sucky subject, but that is the world in which we live. If we can hurry up and get rid of capitalism within the next few years, that would be perfect. I'll see you all soon. Bye. Have a great week.